Hey, 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 oil runners. So, welcome to the Oil Runners broadcast. This is Kristen Olive, your host. Today we have Kenny Casanova, who is a wedding singer, I want to say, a teacher. He's an English teacher, a pro wrestler, and so much more. So, we're going to let him in here in about a minute or so. But I just wanted to let you know that this is a show that inspires people, learns from others to grow from whatever it is. And there's a testimony that you guys always have. So we're always eager to hear it. Okay. So whatever topic that we talk about, you know, it's what we're going to talk about. And it is always for you. All right. And most of the times it's for us as well. We learn from each other, but we do not troll. Let's put a reminder out that we do not troll. We do not bully. We don't do all that. I expect that all that will not happen to the people that are on this place and to yourselves either. We're not going to try to bully you either. If you want to be a part of this broadcast and share your story and your gifts and whatever it is, oil runners services at that's where you can email. You can look up on YouTube at Kristen Love, ChristineAllove 3574. You can find the full length video on YouTube, and you can also find it on Oil Runners Broadcast on Facebook. You can also find us on TikTok, KristenAll.love. You can find us pretty much anywhere at this time. But yeah, so we're going to let them in here in just a moment, okay? And just stay tuned for more. We got a whole lineup going on, all right? I'll talk to you soon. Let's bring them in. Okay, so welcome, Kenny. How are you?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me on.
Oh, thank you. I'm great. Great, thank you. So we just wanted to know exactly who you are, how you became who you are, and what your life has been on your journey.
Sure. I mean, I'm sitting in your kitchen, so you should know more about me, right?
All right.
uh, yeah, so I've got a weird background. My name is Kenny Casanova. I'm known in a couple of different circles. I'm an author. I'm a teacher, a Fulbright scholar. I'm also known in professional wrestling world, and I'm also a wedding DJ. So I've done a lot of stuff. Try to be a little bit creative. I tend to push creativity, so maybe that's one of the messages that I'm here for to speak on today. Yeah. So and you have a lovely kitchen, by the way.
Thank you. I worked so hard to clean it. That's a lot of things. How did you manage all those? Did you manage all those jobs at the same time, or you just kind of over your lifespan kind of thing?
Yeah, it's funny because one thing kind of led to another, and I just held on to everything as I went. So, um, I started early on managing a comic book store, okay? And I would push kids to read when they would come in, and at the same time, I was going to college for a teaching degree. And I would also, we had little workshops where they could make their own comic books. We would have people come in and, local authors and local artists. And while I'm going to college, I also met up with a guy who worked at the comic book store who went off to become a professional wrestler. So I went with him. And then I ended up
Oh,
having my hand in writing scripts for professional wrestling, um, kind of putting shows together. Uh, that led on to me having this weird character developed, Kenny Casanova, which is a manager, a bad guy on the outside of the ring that would help bad guys cheat so they could get a cheap victory. On
oh,
top of
what a
that,
guy.
yeah, on top of that, I mean that character sang karaoke,
Uh,
and that turned into, hey, can you come to one of my parties and can you DJ karaoke? So I learned that. And that turned into, can you DJ my wedding? And I learned that. At the same time, I was getting my teaching degree and I learned that. So I held on to all of it. And eventually someone said, well, I know you're right. Can you write a biography for me? I'm a wrestler. I'd like to have my own biography come out. And I learned how to do that. And then basically I kept all those things. So it went from again, working in a kid's bookstore, uh, moving on to professional wrestling, moving on to uh, DJing, and moving on to writing.
Wow. Like, so you're wait, so you're the guy behind all the did you write like every single script, every single character, or did
No,
you have
no. I,
characters? You were just the bad guy character?
Yeah, I was mostly a bad guy character, and a lot of times with wrestling, especially with pro wrestling, you see it on TV. That's really the big time, but there are smaller leagues, and I
Yeah.
worked for a lot of the smaller leagues. Though I was on the big time screen a little bit here and there, doing various things. More in the minor leagues, people will wear many hats in the minor leagues. So like they might also be a promoter. They may also do lighting. They might do sound. What other else kind of things they bring to the table might happen behind the scenes with the talent. So probably the same as if you were to go to see a local play or something like that. Sometimes the other people have other things going on that keep that play group moving.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, the jack of all trades and the faithful few that are
Sure.
always there to help with whatever necessary. Yeah, that
Yes.
has
Yeah. Yeah.
been fun. I
Yeah.
went to quite a few wrestling events, and
Okay.
yeah, so I went to not the I don't want to say lower, but like you said, those
More
not the
independent, they call them. Yeah.
independent, right? I can never
Yep.
get that. I don't know why. Yeah, I went to the independents. I like it, and the guys are so wholesome, and the families, and just the work that they do is just to even promote themselves. It's absolutely it was amazing to see and intriguing. And I have my few favorites in the pro
Sure.
but
Who do
you
you
know
like in the pro stuff and the big stuff?
well, I just met Rikishi. Up here in Alaska, he was just here, and so I got a
Wow.
picture of him, so I was excited about that one.
So
um
do you know that he's my next book topic? I don't know.
are
This is
you serious?
random. Yeah, yeah.
Are
So
you
I've been approved with him. We've been talking on and off. We got to get down and start the actual interviews. He's been so busy. He had some deaths in the family recently. But randomly you
oh
met him and he's my next topic. We're going to probably after the holidays sit down and I'm going to really start to put together some great questions for his Samoan background,
yeah.
which is super popular now with this whole thing that they're pushing in the WWE. It's called the Bloodline, and really roots back to his parents and his uncle and different people. And then the book will show like his career the whole way up. We're shooting to put out 450 pages, I think. So,
Oh man, I'm gonna need a autograph copy
all
from
right.
you and from him. Just like,
Did he come to a convention there? I think he did, right? Is that what it was? Like a comic
he
convention, like?
he did. And if you need a picture, I got one for you. So,
Nice.
but
All right.
but yeah, no, he was here in Alaska for the Arctic Con,
Cool.
and
Okay.
yeah, they how I found out was because it went on the radio. I was like, wait, what?
Okay.
We have a Comic Con up here? Because I like the Comic
Sure.
Cons. I'm just
Yeah,
that
yeah.
private or the undercover. I like that stuff. So the
Cool.
under,
Yeah.
but yeah, when I heard and they were like, yeah, Rikishi's here, and I said, wait, play that back. Like, I said, what is he doing in Alaska? That's not normal,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it's
So
far. Yeah.
yeah,
Um,
so then
but
I
he
said,
is West Coast, so it's not horrible for him, whereas a lot of the East Coast guys might not really want to go that far and maybe charge too much, and then the Comic-Con promoters may not, bring in an East Coast guy, but a West Coast guy they will, more so. So that's my guess anyhow.
are you
It's
back?
like yeah, I missed you for a second there.
Yeah,
What I was just saying is West Coast wrestlers. He's from LA, so
yeah.
it's not as bad for him as it might be one of my other guys from Florida or something, which would be a long flight and they would charge more, and then the promoters of the Comic Con might not want to book him. So it's great that he was able to come up though.
Yeah, because he's like one of the big dogs. So
Yeah.
like that was like, huh?
So a couple months
Wait,
ago, I
I
went to Texas Brazil with him, which is a Texas State Brazil. It's a Brazilian steakhouse here,
uh,
and that's where they come out with swords of meat and they put it down in front of you, and then
uh,
they cut off chunks of it, and it's like you locked up here, and
oh yeah. The,
they cut it off of a sword, and I'll tell you, Rikishi could put that meat away, man.
yeah, he seems like he could. Like, yeah, I sat there. I was like, you do look like a DoorDash man. So I was like, do yeah. He goes, how did you know? So you just look like a DoorDash kind of guy. I can tell you what restaurants are good here. So he just laughing. You know, man. But yeah, he was cool. And so that gave me a day out for my photography, So
Nice. Yeah.
I was like, okay, well, I'll just take that day out, but I'm gonna go to the Comic Con over here. So yeah, that he was one of the big ones that I was like, yep, okay,
Cool.
we got it. And
You
then
do photography? You do like wedding photography?
I could. I
Okay.
just choose I just choose the bears.
Okay.
Over drama. So
Sure. All
like
right.
I'm less likely to get killed by a bear. Let's just put it that way.
That's
You
true. I've
know.
seen some bridezillas, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I could do anything in photography. And I'm starting the
Cool.
videography. So I got some ideas. I just have a lot of medical issues that's
Okay.
causing me not to do so much in that because I got to go on ice and I got to go
Oh,
either
okay.
I fall and break my spine. That's not a good idea,
Yeah, let's not do that.
or or I wait and then I'll go ahead but I'm trying to put plans together,
Okay.
just like I know the bears, I know where I can go get them. I know where the eagles are. I know where the people are, and I want to put together Native American, like I want to get the Iditarod. I met Rod Perry, who is the one of the old school. He's like Rikishi, you know what I mean? Just out like he was one of the first mushers. So
Nice.
pioneer. So I want to put together something journalistically or a documentary, doing that. So like kind of stuff like that.
So are you looking for the more creative side of things, or you're looking to sell pictures, or like how um how does
Oh, I sell them.
photography fit in? Oh, you sell them, yeah? Okay.
I do.
Nice.
Right now, I because I'm still learning the
Hmm.
whole computer thing and
Yep.
doing all that. I have the product. I just need how to sell it properly, but it's on Fine Art
Sure.
America.
Oh,
So
great. Okay.
it's
Yeah.
there as at least a portfolio kind of thing.
Right.
But
So people could piece and say, I really need a picture, stock picture of a bear, and then they could purchase that.
yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, they got that. And, they can purchase cups, or
Yeah.
puzzles and stuff like that. So it's already on there. But I can sell it on the other side too. I,
Right.
I do art as well, and I'm just an artistic person. So, like,
Nice. Sounds good.
but yeah, want to write a book too. I have so many kids' books I want to do, and definitely uh getting that written out
It's
too. But
really
yeah.
getting easier too. So I'm also a bit of a publisher. So I have 12 books out now. And a lot of times, wrestlers and wrestling historians, so those could be anything from fans to promoters to wrestling personalities that really like the background of professional wrestling. They'll
Oh,
contact me and I'll lay out books for them. I'll help them get in touch with somebody that might be able to do cover art. And over the years, I've learned that my old words of wisdom was invest in yourself, buy a whole pallet of your own books so you have them on hand and you can send them out and you'll get a cheaper price when you buy in bulk. Some of that
yes.
has really changed over the years now. So if you go and enroll on KDP, so that's Amazon,
Hmm.
um, you can buy one book or you can buy 1,000 books and they'll be the same price. So it used to be I had to
Really?
buy 2,000 books and maybe a book would cost me $5 a piece to print it. But these days I can get the same price by Amazon. Let me see, did you lock up? Okay, so I can get the same price on Amazon if I have them print my book, and
Right.
one book will cost $5, or 1,000 books will cost $5. And the reason for that is Amazon now owns the world. They've
Yeah.
tackled every market, every part of the market for book production. So you figure they print the book now. They can have the book edited. They can have a voice author, or I'm sorry, a voice actor read the book and put it on Audible. They can distribute the book, um, and they'll sell the book for you, and then a book will come to your house, in an Amazon truck. So like all of those things were different businesses before, and now it's just Amazon does it all. So they can keep the price super cheap. And now authors don't need a small press company. They can just go to Amazon and just click off the little services that they all want, and you can put a book out. And it's not really vanity press, which used to be kind of, I couldn't get anybody to print my book, so I'll print it up myself, and there you go. It's not like that anymore. Now it's kind of a regular process in authoring a book.
Wow. Okay. So like how much is that? How much are you getting out of that? Like once everything is done and said and done and good.
Sure.
Um,
So it's all different levels, really. If I print up a book and I want Amazon to find the one guy in Japan who wants to buy my book and then mail it to him, they'll actually print the book up in Japan, one copy, and send
mhm.
it over to the guy, so he'll save $30 on postage. Um, if I don't want them to do the distributing part of it, it'll be cheaper though for me, and I'll make more of the money. So they may say, "Hey, we got this guy in Japan. He wants the book." I say, "Okay." Then I go in my basement and I take a book that I've already had printed, put it in an envelope, and then mail it out. I'll get $20, but if they mail it out for me, I might get $6 or $7 or $8 as a royalty. So it really depends on what level and what part of the process you want to have Amazon fulfill and what part you're willing to fulfill. So, and
Okay.
I'm a
And
cheapskate, so I'll do as much of it as I can and keep as much of it of the money that I can. So,
right. And personalize it. Yeah.
sure. Yeah,
I mean, that's a lot more for me. I would personalize everything. That's how I would do it. Now,
sure.
I'm lazy in that department too. I'm like, listen, you guys produce it and all that stuff. Maybe I'll buy
Yep.
it from Amazon and then put it into my stock. I don't know. I don't know how that works, but that's how I would have like my brain like
Yeah.
just but
Yeah, I mean
yeah.
it's just crazy all the different services that they offer now. So you can kind of check off the stuff you want them to do and check off what you don't want them to do and do it yourself. And
Okay.
from there, that's the different levels. If you check off everything, then basically they are the publisher, the distributor, the creator of the book. They might offer some kind of cover services, and also some guy from Audible is going to read it. So I'm going to get less and less money everything that I have them do. But in the end, a message here that I'd like to push for aspiring authors is that it's worth doing. When you've got that book in your hand and you've got that tangible something that you've created, it's super rewarding. It's nothing that people can really understand until they see that. That book is going to outlive me. It's going to be in a library somewhere. It's going to be on somebody's bookshelf. And when I pass away, one thing we talked about off camera was, what's your legacy? Well, leaving behind something that a kid could pick up and read, 10 years after I'm gone, about 50 years in the past, about something that might disappear on the internet. It might not be anywhere you can just go to a website and read, but they'll still be able to tap into something I've left behind. It's super rewarding, super cool. So I say do it.
Yeah. Well, you convinced me, that's for sure. Like I'll be starting that in December 23rd. Well, 24th. Let's just put it that way.
Another part of that is to actually get up and do it. Let's do it,
Yeah.
because we say I want to write a book someday, but there's no better time than to do it for now. So when I was back in the comic book store, I put off going back to school and getting my teacher's degree, and I wasted 7 years there. If I had just kept going right from the beginning of like high school and then right into college and kept going and going and going, I would have been quicker and closer to my goal of becoming a teacher now, which I've done already 20 years. So I would be 27 years into the deal. And with writing, it's the same thing. You have to set time in your schedule and say, I'm going to do this. So for somebody who's thinking about writing, you have to say, okay, every Monday, I'm going to write at 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock. I'm going to set aside 1 or 2 hours and make that writing time and stay dedicated to that. And that's kind of how I think you get past that hurdle of someday I'll get to it. I want to do it. Someday I'll get to it. You have to just go ahead and do it and then dedicate yourself and put it on your calendar and make that a regular time. And that's what I'm doing. I'm getting ready to do with Rikishi. We keep saying we're going to pick a day every Wednesday at 7 p.m. I'm going to interview him, just little bites. I'll just hit him up for 15, 20 minutes, maybe half an hour, try to make it not crazy, but just enough so we're taking little chunks at it until we get it, rolling. And then it seems the goal is closer and it makes you want to finish it. And then you get even more a passion behind it.
Right.
So, all right, we broke a little there.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
good.
get a
So
little.
yeah, yeah. So hopefully that helps. Some of that information might, kind of push somebody to do something. Same thing with my DJ career. I kind of wanted to do it, and really my best thing was to just take a gig and try it and see what I could do, and have different people help me the best I could until I could do it on my own, and then eventually that snowballed. And a little bit of the wrestling, learning about promotion and learning about how to get your name out there and using your resources helped me with the DJ career. And it also helped me with the writing career, as pushing my name as a writer and all. So, it's kind of borrowing from different avenues and experiences and making connections and all that I would say could help you guys if you're thinking of writing.
Yeah. So what would you say to people who have who have to find their ability and their disability, like ADHD and people, they have the gift, but it's like so jumbled up, in their brain. Like, okay, well, I can speak it, but but how would you help that person to get that unblocked?
So I know somebody who had this is a teacher that I took over for actually in another position. She had a bit of an OCD issue and a little bit of ADHD going on. And what I said for her, she said this thing where she wanted to write down everything that she did to make sure that she didn't forget something. And that started to help her not worry about if she forgot to do something. How do I explain this really? Before she would leave a room, she wanted to make sure things were unplugged, light switches were off. Any problem that could happen, she had made it not happen. But then she would forget if she did everything. So I just suggested get a checklist going and
Mhm.
trying to get organized that way so it could make things a little bit easier to know, if you had done something. She said quite often she'd leave her house and wonder if she had left the coffee pot on the stove or left a door open in the back where a dog could get out and different things like that. So uh, try journaling helped, I think, her a little bit. I said, take your phone and just type in it real quick. Did that, make a checklist. Um, Maybe
Mhm.
that can help. I guess it depends really on what the condition is, but probably I would say working on organization is probably huge. Um, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a hard one.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
like,
tough, but it takes dedication too. You gotta really work on it sometimes. It's not easy, or they wouldn't call it work. Uh,
right. Yeah. So with your DJing, do you have any fun stories that you would like to share, or we can stay off the subject on that one?
Oh no, that's fine. Yeah. So how about this? Recently, I did a an event near Lake George, New York, which is upstate. So Alaska, if you know kind of where New York City is, this is about 3 hours north. Lake George has a Six Flags theme park,
Okay.
and they also have some weddings going on there from time to time. So we were doing a reception. I'm just playing some music in the background, and now it comes time for the toast. So we get the best man up there, and he's talking on the mic, and they're all kind of listening to him and looking at him. And I look over to the side, and they've got like nice floral decoration. They've got some candles up, and a candle is right near some flowers, and the flowers catching fire on a table where
Wait,
they've got like the little cheese and the crackers and all that, and the, like, shrimp and all this stuff. And a fire is
uh,
breaking out. So I'm
lovely.
running over and I'm trying to play fireman. Yes, I broke there. Yeah, so I'm running around like trying to play fireman, and I'm trying to put it out, and I'm taking napkins and all, and then I run over to the side and I find a pitcher of water, and I'm running back over to where the fire is. It's getting a little bigger. People are watching me. The bride and groom, the only ones that can really see me, and they're looking, and they realize, oh, geez, and I splash in it, and I put the fire out, and then a fire alarm goes off. The smoke goes
Nice.
up, and yeah, so they people come running in. They say, "Oh no, don't evacuate. I think it's a fire drill." And we're like, "No, we set it off. Your light, your candlelight burned the flowers over here." And you're hearing so they said, "You don't have to leave. We think everything's fine." And I start playing like Disco Inferno and just songs with the word fire in it, like Fireball by Pitbull. It's just
Right.
crazy stuff like that to try. I start playing it loud where you don't usually play, beforehand when the toast and people are getting ready to eat dinner. I'm playing that loud to try to overbear, the loud alarms that are going off. So that was fun.
Well, now you can add firefighter to the list of
Yeah. Put my hat on, a new
jobs.
hat.
She back.
Yeah, yep. Sorry on that. Yeah, we're a little choppy today, yeah, sorry on that.
No worries. Yeah, I was saying that you can add firefighter to the list of jobs now.
Yeah, I wear a lot of hats.
Yep. What about teaching? What's your favorite moment?
A teaching moment. So recently they changed my job. I used to be an alternative ed teacher, so I helped kids that struggled in regular classrooms, traditional classrooms. They would come to me kind of as a last resort. We would slow some things down and work with students that had different disabilities or different behavioral issues to help them get a diploma. But after that, I started working in a vocational setting. So I would get pushed into a culinary room or an auto class, and they would write papers on whatever vocation that they're working on in their different field of studies, and they'd get credit
Mhm.
right in that class. Now I'm in a hospital and I've got honors kids, and they travel around with 30 different medical professionals, so different departments, and they're trying to figure out a pathway for them into the medical field, medicine. So they're seeing autopsies and they're seeing live childbirths and all kinds of crazy stuff. So,
Wow.
yeah, so I'm across the board on all that. It'd be tough to um, really pick a moment, but um, I think maybe creating the yearbook was always kind of rewarding because also I had an interest in publishing, and kids could go out, take pictures, and put together a yearbook, and that was always fun. So stop, stop. Whoa.
So I guess we lost him. There he is.
Back again. Sorry on that. A lot of obstacles here today. Oops. Yeah.
Fall off the chair.
Yeah.
So you were saying creating the yearbook was
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and that might be because, I have an interest in publishing, and also the kids would get to have the opportunity of being able to hold a book that they put together afterwards. And again, something that would stick around, something tangible that they could see and appreciate. So pretty
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then seeing their quotes later on, 25 years later, and there's
Sure.
like, what in the world was I saying? Like, like, oh man. So you said, so what was the other one that was you were a full what was a
Oh,
full
oh, the Fulbright.
what is that?
So that was pretty cool. So being a Fulbright scholar, it's called, means you get to go overseas and work in a different educational setting. And for whatever reason, my principal went and he had got to go to Japan, and he was a bit of an educational ambassador. So he went over, he learned a lot about the Japanese education system, and then brought it back overseas to speak on. And I not shy, so I came up to him and said, how'd you make that happen? And he helped me. Did you lock up again? He did lock up again. Okay.
Hey.
Uh, so anyhow, my principal kind of coached me along, told me what I needed to do, helped me with my application, and then I was able to go. So the government of Japan dropped something like 70 grand on me, and I went over and I got to learn about education system there and bring back that information to share with our students. So super cool. It was blew my mind to be able to travel.
Wow.
Like that. Yeah,
That really is super cool. I've never that I mean it's gotta be rare to be able to get that.
sure.
Um yeah, how would you get that? Like
So you would
what
go
do you
to you would want to check out Fulbright opportunities. You go to Fulbright .org, I think it is. And I particularly went to um, whoops. Okay, I particularly went to Japanese Fulbright Memorial Fund, which is a section of Fulbright. And but if you were to go to the regular Fulbright website, it will show looking for an opportunity to bring an educator to Australia, to England, to France, and it's almost like a foreign exchange student to some degree. And in a lot of cases, you're actually teaching a classroom. You might actually become a borrowed teacher in another land and maybe switch places with someone or something like that, depending on how they have it set up. Or you might just go to an area that has a an opening for Fulbright, so the school opens a little spot so another person can just come in and take an opportunity. In my case, they were having me come over and just more learn about the educational system than to actually teach. So I was there for a couple of months, whereas some people might be there for 6 months and teach a whole like semester or something somewhere. So
so when they with the teachers that like go into that they borrow the teacher kind of thing, are
kind
they
of.
teaching that curriculum that they're already set in place, or are they teaching a new thing to the kids or the people?
It's not necessarily new, but it's sort of like being able to bring a different culture over to their culture so um they could learn math from somebody from America, or they or what might even be more fulfilling might be someone from France come over to America and teach French. That would
Okay.
make more sense, but it doesn't have to be that. It could be anything really. And sometimes really just the idea of like learning abroad, taking college course somewhere else is kind of the feel behind it. So, so
Yeah.
like learning abroad, some colleges might have you go to England to learn some kind of program or something like that. Same idea.
Okay. Yeah, that actually sounds pretty cool. I
Yeah,
like to
check that out whenever you can. If you can find information about how I can get over here or go over there. I can't stress enough. It'd be super cool if to me have been more traveled, gone to different areas because the few places I have been, I've super enjoyed. I just busy person though, so I don't get to go a lot of places other than, America and the far and distant planet of Canada. So
Which I'm only a few hours away from, so
sure.
that distance anymore. Like I was in Pennsylvania for a while. I graduated in
Okay.
Pennsylvania, so
All right.
but
Yeah.
so I know about New York.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That I mean, honestly, I like New York, but it's not a place. And then I can't do the I got lost. Let's just put it that way. I can't just park my car somewhere and then go on the tram and then be like a million miles away from the car because
It's
I
tough.
just couldn't find my car in the parking lot at Walmart down the street. And then wondering if my car is going to get stolen or whatever. You know what I mean? It's just like so much. So I'm like, yeah, I'll
Sure.
be tourist. I'll stay
Yeah.
here for a day and then I'll go to the ocean and then I'll go home.
Yep.
Like that's,
Makes sense.
we'll leave it
Yeah,
there.
it's tough. I mean,
I'll get my little,
you take one wrong turn in New York and you're off, and it'll take an hour to fix that. So it's messy for sure, the whole car situation.
yep. Like, yeah, we had that issue. I was like, yep, all right, Times Square, we're good. I'll go get like I like those nuts that are in the on the
Oh,
on
okay.
the carts, like those walnuts
Sure.
that
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
oh, I miss those so much.
Yeah, those are good. Some people really like, they call them the dirty water dogs. You can get the hot dogs and stuff.
Yeah.
Those are really good. A real horrible
Yep.
hot dog isn't bad. You might want to be careful who you get them from these days, though.
Right. I did get a caricature
Sure.
photo, and it was kind of funny because the guy got chased down by the cop afterwards. That's not New York. I mean, why not? I mean, that's an experience. And but yeah, New York was actually I did like it. I just can't do um that whole
Sure.
scene. That is not my
Were you born in Pennsylvania?
I like my
I heard New York is tough for me. I really like, and then I didn't hear anything after that.
oh I really like my sleep.
Oh,
Like
okay, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
yeah, there was a we went to what is I always say the beach in New York. The famous one where you can get Nathan's hot dogs and stuff or Coney Island.
Okay,
That
Coney
that
Island, sure. Yeah.
yeah, that beach. So of course the day that I go, it's closed. Like
Ah, all right.
experienced I experienced a closed Coney Island, right?
Ah, okay. Yeah.
But I love the ocean, still afraid of it and all that stuff. So me getting in the ocean was very, very rare. Okay.
Oh.
So I had to set that tone. But so me and my friends, we were not collecting hermit crabs, but we were raising hermit crabs at home in Pennsylvania.
Okay. All
So
right.
we decided, okay, we're gonna go in the ocean. This little kid decided um to as we're out in the ocean doing our thing, and he picked up this big old crab and he tried to sell that thing to me. All right, for 20 bucks.
That's a
So
steal.
I right? So he literally picked it up in the middle of the ocean and he was like, "Hey." I was like, "Really?" And I looked at this kid and I said, "Seriously? Out in the middle of this water?" I said, "So how are you going to sell me something that was free in the water that God made? You not on the street." So I said, "I'm not. I can't." I really called him out on that, and it was just a kid. And then he put it down, and no lie, I went to go where that crab was, and I picked the crab up, but he But it was, I said, how that, I mean, like
That's funny.
really. But I mean, the crab decided to, I wasn't going to take him home or anything. But yeah, I thought that was funny, was the kid
Yeah.
trying to sell me a,
Another piece of advice to kids at home: never take crabs home. You don't want to bring crabs home. Never.
right. Yeah, because yeah, they're totally different breeds from that little cage. Yeah. But my gosh, yeah, that one, I thought that was funny. Like, it's like, how are you going to panhandle? Like, like, no, no, like, we're not
Did
doing
you
this.
grow up in Pennsylvania? Were you born out this way?
I was born in Germany.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yep. Germany is my state, Nuremberg, Germany. And my family, well, my dad was military. Well, his side of the family is military. My mom's side is military as well on different things, but it's also German. And then we have a whole bunch of different mixtures of everybody in the cultures.
Sure.
So 13 years and born and raised in Germany, and then came to the States with my dad, because my parents separated and then or divorced, and then ended up in Palmyra, Pennsylvania,
Okay.
next door to Hershey and Harrisburg. So I was
Nice.
right there,
Okay. Yep.
so I grew up there, ninth grade, graduated there, and then moved to Alaska the first time and came back and after about 7 years, and then stayed in Pennsylvania again, 10 years, but I traveled around the world as a kid.
Nice. Okay. Sure.
So yeah, so I did all my travels then versus now. Now I like Alaska because everything, I can go to Hawaii, I can go, into the Polynesia, I can go to Asia, and all continents in one spot.
Sure. Yeah, that's
And it's
cool.
genuine food, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Authentic. They are lit, the cultures are here. They don't. I was like, well, I don't have to travel no more. Thank God.
Yeah.
I can settle finally. So it's kind of nice. Like,
Nice.
they got a German school up here. Um,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
yeah, so they literally legit made a German school. They have I think it's a Chinese school as well. Like, so and then the American kids can go into these schools,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
so different things. I was like, well, that's pretty cool. Like, that
Nice.
they
Yeah.
brought that here. I mean,
Yeah.
that's how genuine it is. It's not like it's like that fake stuff where, you go into, I'm not saying nothing bad about this, but I just don't see where you're going into an Asian buffet. I want Asian food. I don't want a burger.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, that doesn't make
Yeah.
sense. I know a lot of people, I'm not saying nothing. I'm not knocking it. It's just you go into a culture, and that culture, I'm expecting that culture to experience,
Right.
but and I want that authentic culture versus
Sure. I
what
mean, they
they
say
think.
when you go to Italy, right, you're not getting a pizza like you would get in New York or Chicago.
Right.
Yeah, it's totally different. And like, have you been to Japanese restaurant and they have hibachi, right? There is
Yes.
no hibachi in Japan. That's an American creation of what they picture should be in Japan,
Right.
but isn't. When I was there in Japan, the closest thing that came to hibachi was called okonomiyaki, I think, which is also, and now I'm crossing both of these things together, it's Japanese pizza. So they would have a big cooking grill, I guess, for lack of a better term, in front of you, and they would make a big fritter, and
Mhm.
they would put either seafood or some kind of meat in there, but it was basically like noodles and maybe some vegetables. And they would cook that in front of you, and they would flip it over with a giant, almost like huge spatula. Then they would
Uh-huh.
cut it up and they would serve it to everybody. So that's the closest thing they had to a hibachi was called okonomiyaki, and it translates to Japanese pizza. So
Oh,
yeah, so that's pretty. If you were to go there,
yeah.
that's where that's kind of the big cultural dish that nobody knows is their culture. It's almost like when we go and we order a pizza, they might go and get that and have those
Right.
delivered with um, different house recipes and stuff like that, different toppings and things. So
Oh, see,
yeah,
yeah. See, I would experience that. Like,
yeah, If you can
You
get
know,
there, get that okonomiyaki.
yeah, well, my son's trying to go to Japan because he just joined the
Okay.
military, the Navy.
Oh,
So
nice.
he's talking to me the other day
Tell
about I'll have to let him know that. And I was like, I'm only going for you. I was like, I don't
him. Yeah.
know. He's like, okay, mom. But yeah, I have to let him know because his stepmom is actually she speaks so long. She's in that, so he knows all about that Asian stuff. Like,
Nice. Okay.
so
Yeah.
he's well trained in that the culture.
Yeah.
Like,
Cool.
so he's got the African and he's got the, learning how to do French. I'm not sure if he wants to speak languages, but he's got German, you know what I mean? So he's got different cultures
Sure.
that
Yeah, ask him about Japanese pizza. He might even know and be ready to get it. He might know about it. I didn't know about it. They told me about it when I got there. I mean, eating in the different cultures, it sounds like you're interested in. Crazy because in Japan, I mean, they moved us around. We went everywhere. My first sushi experience was in Japan. I had never tried it before, and then I got there and I loved it. And they're moving us around, they're offering me blowfish and all kinds of crazy stuff. I was just so hungry. I'm ready to try
what's
all of
blowfish
it.
like?
She was kind of
Right.
rubbery and tough, and you dip it in something a little bit chewy. I don't know if it was great or not. I don't know if it was a good example of what of a blowfish dish, but I tried. It was okay, and I didn't die, so I'm still here talking about it. They say some people are allergic and could die from it.
Wow.
But I tried everything I could when I was out there, which again, um, I guess leads to the message that I'm saying today. Younger kids, just do it, just try it, best you can. I mean, one night I was so hungry I could eat a horse, and then I did. They rolled out basashi,
Oh,
which is raw horse meat. It's sashimi. It's a raw horse meat that you dip in a sauce and eat it. And yeah, so I was eating horse meat.
yeah, that one I don't know if I could try.
Yeah.
I'm still working on rabbit. Like, I have a bad, I mean, I love the rabbits and I have a story on why I don't eat the rabbit because somebody decided that they wanted to kill my rabbit and try to serve me
Oh,
with it when
oh,
I was a kid and tried to like manipulate me on that one
oh,
because
that's
I was
not
like,
good.
I just fed them. Where the heck did they go? I knew that there was a slaughterhouse, you know what I mean? But
Yeah,
these were my rabbits.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I just fed them. And then all of a
yeah.
sudden went out there and I was like, where did they go? And then we were invited to the neighbor's house.
Oh,
And she decided to put a bowl of spaghetti in front and then, have the rabbit, like the meat, it was the rabbit and everything. And she's like, oh, now it's chicken. Are you kidding me? I was like, I know it's rabbit. And then they proceeded to tell me it was rabbit because I refuse, so I was like, I don't
yeah,
like that manipulation. Like, you could have at least
yeah.
told me, but I
Wow,
kind of had a funky
that's
feeling.
crazy.
Yeah. So to this day, I will not eat a rabbit.
Yeah,
Um, I'll do the rabbit feed. You know what I mean? I'll have those or whatever if I hadn't had those in years. But that one I can't do. Like
yeah, yeah.
that.
I hear you. Pardon the pun. I hear you.
Yeah, yeah. But I also won't own a rabbit either. They bite.
Yep.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, rabbits, ferrets. I love them all. I
yeah,
respect them. They stay in their own little. We have our little tift, but
yeah,
our space.
yeah.
Chickens, I'll hang out with, but not to. I'll eat to argue with me. But yeah, it's just traveling. So yeah, you got to come up to Alaska and try up here because they
So,
eat.
yeah, it sounds cool. Is there a special Alaskan food? I know Chicago is known for pizza, and maybe New York and Coney Island, their hot dogs. What do you got in Alaska?
We got bear, moose,
Hey, do you
caribou,
eat bear though?
whales. Yeah,
Oh, you
yeah,
do? Okay. All right.
yeah. Bear stew is really good.
Wow,
Um,
okay.
yeah, the natives, they're the ones that cook it really well. You could People do hunt. They're like almost old school up here, mixed with the new schools, new age stuff, but we could still, if we got another earthquake or whatever, we're able to survive because we can go out hunting,
Sure.
and go out to the mountains and get the water. It's not that far. So that would be something we can do. And if we have
Did
friends that hunt,
you I was gonna say, did you watch the new True Detective that was set in Alaska? I mean, that's kind of the only taste I have of that, maybe zombie movies.
Oh, yeah,
Jodie
no,
Foster. Yeah.
yeah, they fake a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, I
Like,
figured they did.
believe it or not, they fake it. It was really, that's not like that.
Yeah,
And
it's
then
not that bad.
what's that one with the dating show, like your date, I can't think of it, the name of it, but it's like the big brawly man. Oh God, that's a lie.
Okay.
Like that whole show is a lie.
Yeah, that's
So
what TV does, though, right?
yeah, but that flying wild in Alaska, that's true.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, I've
that's
heard of
true.
that.
My
Okay.
mom worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know the owners of that, and but the my mom used to work for that company.
Okay.
So when that show was going on, she was the accountant for the whole company.
Oh,
Um,
nice. Okay. Cool.
yeah, so definitely know that is a real show. They're really cool people, really down to earth.
Nice.
Um, that one you can get a hint of Alaska on that.
All right. Sure.
Ice Road Truckers, that's real.
Okay.
That one you could do. I can't think of the other one. Yeah, there was just so many that thought, and that whole they just. But when they say that 6 months of winter, there's darkness, and 6 months of the light, that actually is kind of true. But um, the dark, like in the winter, it's like it goes light about 9:30 in the morning, and then goes dark about four,
Oh,
between
okay.
4 and 5. You
Huh.
know what I mean? So we still have light. Barrow is the one that's dark all like once it sets, it sets. And they
Oh,
got
okay.
they got polar bears rolling around in their 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 streets. So we
Yeah.
got the regular bears and then they got the polar bears. You know that can come up to your McDonald's.
So do you see Northern Lights? New York just got some. We don't
Did you?
normally see them here.
Yeah, I've been seeing that everybody's been getting them. Yeah,
A
we get
little
them all.
bit.
Yeah,
That's pretty
yeah. So
cool.
how'd you
All
like
right.
them? Did you see
It's
them?
pretty, I mean, I didn't quite see them because it was cloudy where we were, but our friends were posting pictures that, where maybe they weren't as cloudy in the area. So some people were definitely seeing some cool stuff. We didn't really quite see it here, our own, but I'm in
Yeah. So the
Albany.
trick. Yeah. So the trick to see them is to have no light. Like if you're in a city and everything, get away from that. The more you're away from that, the better. And you
Hmm.
can see them clearly, or it'll come faint or whatever. Ours come out when it's like negative-degree weather, which
Oh,
sucks.
all right.
They're
Yeah.
beautiful. We're not trying to be frozen either at
Right,
2 o'clock in the
right.
morning. But we're used to it. We can go out in a t-shirt and pair of shorts and sandals.
Sure.
That's
Have you photographed some?
not this time around.
Okay.
That one I was like, no, I don't want to do the negative-degree weather at 2 o'clock in the morning. So I will do
Sure.
one of those trips which is really cool. They have a observatory out here.
Okay.
So I'm gonna plan for that trip just to at least go to the observatory. And then they I was reading that they it's a little cabin that they make their own stew and stuff like that. So it's
Oh,
an old school thing.
yeah, yeah.
Take your
That's
camera, it's
cool.
out all the snow, and it's just gorgeous. Everybody does that one.
Sure.
So, okay, well, I mean,
The goal would be to get a picture of a bear, which you like taking pictures of in the Northern Lights. Maybe you could do both.
yeah, but that would be hard because they're hibernating
It's
though.
too cold. Yeah, all right. Yeah.
A
Might not
moose would
work.
probably be better, or a
Okay.
bison would be a better bet.
Okay.
We have
Yeah.
stuff here, or the
Yeah.
wolf. Actually, the wolf
Okay.
might be a
That'd
good
be
one.
kind of neat. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they've been walking around our house, our neighbors, our neighborhoods.
Yeah.
So they're in Anchorage now. So kind of migrated out here. So like, oh yay! Everybody's like, oh, be safe. Okay, let me go get them. Like that's me. Like,
So I would imagine with the wildlife shooting, you have to wait for the right second, right? So you could be waiting hours just to get that one perfect like pose and the right spot and all. It's probably a tedious thing, right?
In a way, in a way,
Yeah.
with them, if you're really an avid um animal shooter, I'm quicky clicky. That's
Okay.
because I
Yeah.
can get my shots within like a couple seconds. But if I take
Okay.
my and really get my shot because I see it ahead of time because I've already cased out the joint,
You know
and
what you want. Yeah.
yeah. And so like when I'm hiking or something, you don't know what's going to happen. You might not get anything and you
Yeah.
might get something that's like totally awesome.
Right.
And so I like to take my coffee and something to eat, or whatever, and I just sit there. I'll hang out with them. I let them know that I'm there, and that way they're not so
Okay.
scared and
Yeah.
look at other people. And I'll protect the animal and I'll also protect the people, but I have to because people are special. I'm not going to say
Sure.
the other word, but they're special. And their dogs kind of create a whole scene, and so the
Yeah.
animal will try to attack. But me and the animal, we're cool, if
Okay.
it's just us
Yeah.
two.
Yeah.
And that's why I write these kids books because I have some stories from these animals that, like, the encounters and stuff, and want to make them a character. They do
Sure.
have a
Yeah.
life or a personality. And so, yeah, I capture the smile that they do. Like when I'm in that camera and I'm just sitting there and I'm just taking in that moment because you don't get that moment. Um, like especially when I was out in Pennsylvania, you never got that moment. Like it's
Yeah.
always somebody drunk or on drugs or or mental health issues or some, building something out
Yep.
here. You got that, but you can leave that. you know,
Sure. Yeah.
even in that moment they can be on, while you're going to a club, for instance, they're downtown. The bear can roll around at the door and be like, oh, like, wait a minute. uh, okay,
I belong
like,
this way.
right.
Yeah.
So you got to be on
Yeah.
point with everything. And I tell people,
Yeah.
do not wear headphones. And they're like, oh, why,
Okay.
why? Because you need to know your environment. I don't care where you're at. You need to know. You have to look up into the trees. You don't know where they're at. Like bears go in the trees. You cannot climb the
Yep.
tree because we'll climb it. The eagles are up there. Then you got the lynx that are on the ground. And then the porcupines. Like
Sure.
now,
Yeah.
so you don't know who you're encountering. A moose
Yeah.
can get to you in 10 seconds flat, like from a
Yeah.
far distance. I've seen, so you don't know, but that moment that I captured in that camera was the smile. And I'm
Yeah.
like, that's shot. I can have a million of them and click, 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 click. And
Yeah.
then I'm like, okay, well, thank you, but the smile, talk to them like I'm like somebody special, we'll
Yeah.
be a cup of coffee and they're having breakfast, or whatever, and doll sheep,
Yep.
everything. Sit on the mountain,
Yeah.
which is chilling.
Yeah, so you gotta work for it then, I guess, right? So with wedding photography, I know they wait for are we good here? Sorry. Yeah, I know with the wedding photography, they wait for like the golden time,
Oh,
with the sunset where it's just about, uh to to set and you get this golden light that, helps. And I took a picture once in Albany, and there's a big concourse and there's something called the Egg. It's this big area where they do different like music events, and there's fireworks there and stuff. Um, but I waited. I wanted the clouds to be a certain way, and I wanted the certain sunset with the overcast and the golden light and all, and I got it. And it took me a good 45 minutes to wait for the wind. There was water. I wanted a little bit of ripple, but not a lot, so it would be like a
right.
mirror in the water. I was waiting for everything, and it finally happened. I took the picture and I posted it online in a couple places. And I didn't even think about monetizing. I just take it. And now if I type in Albany, New York, my picture is all over the place. People have ripped it off a number of times. So it's sort of
Oh,
like
man.
cool, and it sort of sucks at the same time. But
Right. Because that
yeah.
could have been monetized. Like, I could have had all that. Like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Uh,
shoot. That's why I put mine, like when I share my stuff, I don't, I learned not to post it even with the smaller picture because people can rip that off. Like, no,
yeah.
you
Yeah.
are going to have to go through the site. I will,
And
it'll
get it.
show
Yeah.
the thing and you could just at least look at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just but you're gonna have to go to the site. You're not ripping me
Sure.
off.
Yeah, and that's
Nope.
because I'm an amateur. I didn't know that that was even a thing, really, but I've learned it over the years. But so the picture is probably about 10 years or so. And just before I released it, I tweaked it a little bit. I kind of bumped up the warmth and maybe a little saturation, and just a little tweak with it. It really made it pop. There's yellows and reds stuff in there, and a nice reflection and everything. And I think that's why people started ripping it off for a free Albany picture.
Of
But
course.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to start doing like the fine art photos, like
Nice. Okay. Yeah.
where you can take it and then you could put the snow, you utilize it in as a fine art piece, like an art literally artistic
Sure.
piece. And it's like, oh, I'm going to learn how to do that. That's for sure.
Nice. Yeah.
You
Maybe you could get
know,
a little exhibit going sometime. That'd be nice. Yeah.
something. Yeah, that's the goal. I mean, I've
Yep.
sold paintings and stuff like that, so now I'm an established artist, I guess. But
Okay. Cool.
but but that it is a passion. And so like when I case out places in Alaska, as I'm driving to work or something, and I'm like, okay, so I'm like literally looking, I'm scanning, like, oh, this would be cool in this, this, da, da, da. And then one day I know, so I'll literally, if I see that moment and I know exactly how I'm going to turn off, I know exactly the distance, how my camera's going to be like all ahead of time. So that's why I can clicky, the
Okay.
camera's
Yeah.
preset to anything I need,
You're ready. Yeah. Yeah.
quickly do it and I don't have to be in anybody's way, and all that stuff. But yeah, and then I'm like, okay, so this will be cool to have a moose here, a person here. I got, or whatever, and the mountain in the back, and the beautiful. And so I look ahead, I really look. I'm like, oh, the skyline over there. So that's Warren's off right there. Okay, so I don't know what I'm gonna do today, but that's where I'm gonna go today after work, and looking on the top of the mountain at my job. Like, okay, so it's still going good. Okay, I got it. I got it. And then I had, and then an animal will hit in between, like, oh, thank you. Almost hit a bear and her babies coming from work,
Wow.
so I get out and my friend's like, no, don't do that. Why? It's okay. She's right there. I'm not gonna, I said, I'll put you on this side. Like, and everybody's like, you're not afraid? No, I'm not, because I know how to treat the animals. She was a little curious, but I was a good, 10 feet away from her, like
Yeah.
the road was that far, and she was near the no, near the water and everything. But it just I got to enjoy that. But I almost, I got to see like cubs this big, and I was like, I never seen them like that. Like that's so pretty,
Sure. Yeah.
things. So those experiences, and an owl, that's my favorite bird in the world, is an owl. And it's very hard to get those. And so we were
Yeah.
coming off of work, me and my mom coming out of work, and she stopped, and it was just a random thing. I think she was doing something on the phone. And all of a sudden I seen an owl just zoom through by the
Yeah.
car. And I looked and I
Huh.
was like, wait, whoa, hold up. So now I'm, what's it
You're looking
called?
for it. Yeah.
Yeah, I know now where to look for it. So,
Okay.
so I'm like, okay, so there's owls here. There's, I want these little frogs that I still have yet to find in the winter,
Okay.
but that's gonna be hard,
The
which
winter
they
frog.
freeze. Yeah, they
Okay.
they literally
Yeah.
freeze for the whole winter. They hide
Huh.
themselves, and then, yeah. And I was like, what? Wait a minute, what is this? So,
Yeah.
so, so I'm looking for those,
Yeah.
but I do people, if I feel like it.
Okay.
But I like the people where they're not posed,
Okay. Yeah.
or you know what I mean? Like it's naturally, like, I like to take pictures of photographers taking a photograph
Okay.
kind of
Yep.
thing. Or like if a photographer's taking a picture of somebody, I'm on the top of the mountain and I'm capturing that kind of
Okay.
thing.
Yep.
Or like, there's just certain things, or the train coming
Sure.
through. There's or like journalistic kind of photos. Uh
Okay. Yeah.
it's the moments, I guess, I like is finding the story in that moment.
Sure. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I mean, I guess as a kindred spirit to creating art, the message today is probably create art. If you can make art, make it happen. Buddy of mine, his
Yeah.
name's Evan Ginsberg. He just started throwing some documentary footage together, and he made a whole film of it. And it was called 300. am I going to say it right? 350 days. He's just following a pro wrestler who basically only had a couple weeks off the whole year, and the wrestler's constantly on the road, and he put together a whole film and made a movie out of it. And his message has always been make art, create art, take something you have a
That,
passion in, and and pursue it, and then share it with everybody, and that gets other people to want to do the same. In a world today that's just so crazy with so many other hectic and bad choices and bad things out there. If you can make art and make people think and foster creativity, I think that's the move, right? So,
yeah. Yeah. And not to gatekeep anything.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
just because you're doing it doesn't mean it's all yours. I mean, everybody else has a gift in that kind of an area or whatever. Like, and then everything I know, money is there, but that was the one thing I can't stand is like when you're clicking on
sure,
something, oh, pay $350 for, the same stuff that you're saying on that stupid commercial. Like,
sure, yeah,
we'll tell you how to do this and how to do that.
yeah,
All right, listen, I'm not paying. And that's, I hate when people do that in
yeah,
their businesses in that way. Now I can see paying somebody who is going to educate you, that's literally legit, and you'll get your money's worth, but it's helping them too, kind of thing. Yes, pay the
yep,
money, but don't go for the stupid propaganda mess or whatever they're doing, and you
sure.
know wasting thousands of dollars on that. you
Yeah.
know
Well, I mean, that speaks to what I do for the book stuff for the wrestlers. I pay it forward. Like, I really don't try to make money off other people when I help them. So, if somebody says, "Hey, I'm working on a wrestling book, could you help me?" Usually I do. I'll lay out the book. I've created covers for people. When I say layout, that means make the book look like a book. So it's not just like, a document with just a tons of words in it or whatever. I'll figure out the size of the pages. I'll put the page number here. We'll put a title here. We'll have pictures here and a picture maybe like this over here, and make it look like a book. Some people charge big bucks
right.
for that. If I could do it, I do it
Yeah.
for free for some guys to give me a couple books. You know what I mean? So I kind of like doing it. So the gatekeeping thing I think is definitely, if you can help somebody and push them along, you might really be helping somebody you might not know that they could have really benefited, from what you're giving them, instead of another avenue they might have gone in that might not have been good for them. So,
Right. And I was just telling a person yesterday on the broadcast yesterday that the idea that I have is, like we were talking about like Disney and doing they're redoing the same movies, or just being lazy on different
I
companies just being
agree.
lazy,
Yeah. Yeah.
creating that stuff, no originality. So it's like, well, then why don't we help the kids? Ask the kids to write the story, and send it in, but pay them,
Right. Sure.
without the labor, but
Yeah.
really put a group of kids together, and all the kids, they have so much imagination, but
Sure.
are being, I've been as a daycare teacher and all that stuff and dealing with kids, their imagination has been closed because they're not allowed to do it. They're being
Right.
abused, or it is
Right.
going on. So we need to unlock that and give them that an opportunity to, it'll help with team building. It'll help in school, because then
Mm.
you're like, I was like, maybe the little ones can write a story, their ABC book. It's simple, right?
Sure.
Draw,
Yeah.
just draw the pictures, put your ABCs. What are they doing? They're learning their ABCs. They're learning how to write. They're learning how to do that, but they're teaching a baby in the process that they don't know about, but they're making a product, or, that's their idea to put that in for the baby. And they make the little
Right.
baby, what I mean? Or
Yeah.
something like that. I was like, but also as it'll help the company, because the parents be like, oh, we like this company because they include us. They include the child. It'll help with the 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 families, if they that family, the
Sure.
money that they serve. It'll help the economy. Like,
Sure. Yeah.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it'll just benefit in different ways. And then the company would be like, oh, okay, they'll grow and they'll have more ideas. There's so many. but all these ideas, just having getting those kids out there and really opening up. And then like the people who like the character, because he was a character artist, and he did
Sure.
the Looney Tunes and stuff like that or whatever, the animated.
Yeah, you're right though. Oops, I lost you again. I was just gonna say, yeah, you're right though. Disney would be the one to make something happen like that. They've got tons of money to play with. Why not, right? I'd much rather see something that a
Yeah.
kid came up with, on the back of their, um, I don't know, napkin or whatever, paper plate or something. They come up with some little thing and it becomes huge. But also, right. So I grew up watching Mr. Rogers. I don't know if you remember Mr. Rogers or
Yeah.
not. Yeah, right. He pushed make believe. He pushed being creative and imagination and stuff. But a lot of that doesn't exist these days. Everything seems more fan art, or you know what I mean? Like it's like somebody else's idea that you're recapping, which isn't really pushing for you to create your own characters and create your own stories and all. Yeah, so that'd be great if Disney could put some program together like that rather than making, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, in 3D
Yeah.
and in Pixar and whatever
Right.
different new version that they want to make it. But so I
Yeah,
agree.
and the kids would love it, and then the character artists can be there to help them,
Develop,
create,
yeah. Sure.
develop it. They're mentors, and you know what I mean, and
Yeah,
they can learn how to deal with different parts of the industry, no matter what
sure.
age. They are able to learn that, and then when they go to school, the school will be a better educational system because those
Right.
kids know, like, oh, okay, right, so this math we can do here, and the reading and all that, and they can form sentences and form an
Right.
idea, and talk properly at least, and I came up with that yesterday. I was like, man, that would be kind of cool.
What a neat idea. Yeah. Yeah.
And getting these kids, somebody to get these kids to write books
Yeah.
and just getting them all out and producing the families, books and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just children's books. That's
Yeah.
all they got to do. They wrote the
Yeah.
story, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and put it in their own words and let the other kids. I think that would be a good idea. But
Sure. That's neat. Maybe you can get something together.
yeah,
Maybe you can
like
do it.
I
You
would
should
really
try
love.
for it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I would really love to see that happen. Um, but I think that would help,
Sure.
honestly. Um, but yeah, I mean, creativity, that is a big thing that we're missing in this world.
Yeah. I think it's because of video games and all, to some degree. Because you know, kids will watch video games now, and that's their entertainment, that they're watching another kid play a video game, which I find bizarre. Some people really love that, but uh, but they'll spend a long time playing a video game when maybe they could be not forced to pick the character that the video game, uh, you know, uh, forces them into playing with, and maybe being outside and role playing something out of their own head more, so they're not,
Yeah,
encapsulated into some kind of formulaic, platform.
zombie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
zombie platform. Yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
or creating their own games, like their little card games, board games, or whatever, with the characters that probably would like the fan, you know,
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
getting that fandom kind of thing. Like, oh, let's put this one in here,
Yeah.
and do
Yeah.
that. Yeah, gosh, I would love to see these kids just because they have so much potential, and it destroys me to see that trauma gets to them before it's unlocked. Everything is unlocked for them to just go to the world and be the best versions of themselves. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, they're getting pushed to grow up before they should sometimes, right? So, yeah,
yeah, and pushed on agendas that they don't need to be known about. Nothing. I mean, I'm just saying, just everything they don't need to know your mom and dad's issues. They don't need to know.
sure.
I mean, yes, we are in a world that's crazy, but let them be a kid.
Let a kid be a kid. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Like, I
agree.
mean, I hate to say it, but I don't want, like with my son, like I feel bad because we did have a little bit of a rough thing, but I always tried to make sure that it was the best what I could do, but he, you
Yeah,
know, and whatever, and trying to keep that away from him, but it just never, um, it just didn't pan out that way. But he turned out pretty good. But
good.
still, you know, because I have the same mentality, and he's like, "Oh, mom, I'm okay by myself." No, you're not. Please don't tell me that. I know
Yeah,
sometimes I'm not. So
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, so I'm gonna always make sure I'm with you, dude. Like, I got you. Like,
yeah,
you know, as much as I can, but
good.
but you
Yeah,
know that mental health matters.
yeah, definitely.
And
Yeah,
yeah, so it just it that's just one thing on my heart, that just the kids.
yeah,
And then they turn into adults that have the problems, and then we have, you know what I mean? So it wasn't,
sure.
so now we got to unlock the trauma. Like, like,
Yeah.
it's like, all right, that's why I got into psychology. Like, you know what I mean? But yeah, and the child behavioral health.
Hmm.
That's but yeah. Is there anything else?
Uh, no, I guess I'll push for the idea again to in closing, I guess, overcome the obstacles, get over those little things that are stopping you from being creative, stopping you from making art, stopping you from achieving maybe what you're talking about achieving. Make some goals and then actually start to make the little goals to make the big goals happen first. Some of the most successful people in life make to-do lists. So if we're watching today and we want to hear, how did this guy get into being able to make 12 books on his own? Or how did, you um, get to do some of the great pictures, some shots you had, right? Um, you figure out all the little steps that happen along the way to achieve that goal. And if you want to check out some of the books that I've done, um, I'll be featured at a local library, Cahoe's Library, next weekend, next Sunday, or next Saturday. I'll be selling some of my books along with some other writers. I'm really pushing the sci-fi book that I did, which is all out of my head. It's all creation. I have a sci-fi, post-apocalyptic, end of the world, time travel, uh,
Oh,
kind of like a Groundhog Day type book. It's like a loop that keeps happening over and over and over again, and a guy tries to break that loop. So it's pretty cool. It's called Tag.
you're it.
But yeah, yeah. So what happens is he keeps going back in time, and he has to find himself in another place, and he has to touch himself in order to get back to the beginning of the loop happening again and again. That's why it's called Tag.
Oh,
So yeah.
okay.
So I'll be
Wait.
pushing
Now
that.
I'm always curious about those kind of created, or those books that are created like that. Where does that stuff come from? Like, I know it's in your mind, but like, is that from a childhood thing, that, or like that's a whole nother
Yeah, so
world?
for me, I picked a lot of little cases that I remembered as a young kid of just random things. And then I kind of pieced different things together and made the main character kind of drop into these settings and experience some different thoughts in my head. I wonder if I went back then, if I changed something, if it would be a little bit different. You know what I mean? I think that might be some of my fascination with uh, time travel and stuff. Like I really like Back to the Future.
Yeah,
Just the
that's a
thought of, what if at this time in life, I didn't go and work in the comic book store, but I went and did this, where would I be? Think we froze up here. So yeah, I froze up for a
right.
second there. Yeah, if I didn't do this at this time in my life, where would I be today? And there's a philosopher, Soren Kierkegaard, who I think is a German, actually, but he said that no matter what, you're going to regret everything. So if you get married, you'll have regrets. If you didn't get married, you'll have regrets. If you choose to do this career in life, you'll have regrets. But if you chose to do this career, you'll have regrets. So no matter what his message is at the end, if you're not going to like something, you're going to pass that on to no matter what choice you've made, you're still going to have some problems. So really, I think the key is uh, you know, um, being able to accept the choices you made in your life and maybe just not do the bad things, maybe that bad choices you had, again, try to fix those, because we can't really time travel. At least I don't think we can. But
Right.
so
Okay.
but yeah, so I'll be selling the sci-fi book, along with another 10 biographies that I've written for professional wrestlers. I've interviewed them for usually a full year or so, and really put their story together, in a fun way. I really push, humor, looking for the funny in things and keeping things light when they happen, or when they can, and then also changing things up and making things more heavy when I can too. So, you experience an emotional roller coaster. That's my look on the biography side of my works. So, you can
Okay.
find all that kind of stuff at my website. It's wohw.com, which stands for Walking on Hot Waffles. So, wohw.com.
Oh, okay. I missed the W at the end. I'm like,
Oh yeah.
what? That's not a W. But
Yeah, yeah.
so
Walkingonhotwaffles.com,
W
which
O
doesn't really
W
mean
W.
anything, but it sort of does. So,
Were you having a waffle when you made that? Just that random
yeah,
idea.
pretty much. Yeah. There's good recipe for a keto waffle where you can mix cheese and eggs and there's no carbs in it. And then you put it in a waffle and it's pretty good. Just
Oh,
try
that's,
it.
yeah, that does sound.
Yeah.
But
Oops, lost you again. Well,
uh,
we've been hitting this obstacle of bad Wi-Fi or some connection today all day, and we've still overcome and talked a good hour or so, right? So that's
oh,
good.
absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then WOHW. We
Yep.
got hit with a what you got? Earthquake bang. It wasn't bad. It's a
Oh,
normal
okay.
thing. I was like, wait,
All
okay,
right.
not today. Not
Yeah.
eh, not in the mood. Like, little wait. But
Yeah.
yeah, but I really enjoy talking to you, and definitely would love to have you on again. Um, and I can't wait to see what Rikishi's life was about.
Oh yeah. I can't wait to start it. Yeah, that should be good. So
Yeah, and yeah, I
you
can't
see
wait to
me
see that.
shaking. I've got a rescue dog I've been petting over here. He gets a little crazy from time.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm surprised
That's
my
what this is here.
yeah, I'm surprised my cat's not over here doing that. Like,
Yeah. I don't know if you
he's
can see him. If I can put him, can I get a shot of him? I don't know if you want to come on.
no, I just see
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna work.
unless you put him on, like literally on your chair.
Yeah, no, it's not working. He's not having any of it.
Uh, is he holding his bed up or something?
I'm trying to come here, buddy. I don't know if I could get him. There he is.
Oh,
Oh.
okay. Look at him. He's so cute. Like,
Camera
oh.
shy. Yeah,
Mhm.
we got him in May. We got him from a rescue. He's super cool.
Oh, so he's a newbie in the family.
Yeah, he's still kind of feeling the place out.
Yeah, he still wants those loves.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, give him a year. Look, I don't care. Just go do what you do what you do. I'm not even. Oh, my dog's the opposite. He will push your hand, everything, push everything out of your hand for loves. Like,
Yep.
you know. But okay, well, we definitely will welcome you on any time on any
Cool. Thank you
subject.
so much for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate you, honestly, because without you guys, there'd be no broadcast or anything.
Right.
I mean, never
Yep.
thought this would happen. So, like, we're
Cool.
working
Yeah.
with it. We're just gonna go like how you went with the DJ. It just all rolled into one.
Just keeps
So,
going. Let it happen.
yep, yep, snowball effect. So I was like, all right,
There
it
it
is what
is.
it is. but
Yeah.
but so thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.